Good morning, student. Today we learn poem Trees by J.S. Gilmer. Trees by J.S. Gilmer was written in February of 1913 and was first published in Poetry, a magazine of verse. It was then included in Trees and Others poem, one of the Gilmer's most popular volume. J.S. Gilmer was an American journalist, poet, literacy critic, lecturer, and editor. Gilmer was considered the leading American poet and lecturer of his generation. At Columbia, Gilmer was vice president of the Philosophical Society, associated editor of Columbia Specters, the Columbus newspaper, and members of the Debating Union. Now analyze the poem. The poem begins with the speaker stating that he will never see a poem that is more beautiful than a tree. He does not believe that humanity is capable of making something better than what God has made. The following lines are devoted of the type of tree he has in mind. It will have an intimate connection to the earth and its element. Intimate means closely. There will be bird nesting in the branches in the summer and gentle snow on the tree's bosom in the winter. The poem concludes with the speaker explaining that no matter what humankind does, no poem or piece of art will be lovelier than what already exists on the planet. Now, structure of trees. Joyce Gilmer poem is made up of 12 lines which are separated into 6 sets of 2 lines. Gilmer has chosen to conform the poem to a consistent rhythm. Now start the poem. I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed means pressed against the earth's sweet flowing beast. The first line begins with a simple yet impactful statement about the future. Gilmer speaker declared without any further instruction that he will never see a poem lovely as a tree. His words are straightforward and easily accessible and appealing aspect of this piece. He knows without a doubt that every tree on the planet is greater and more lovely than even the most beautiful poem. These lines are made even more rhythmic by the use of alliteration with the words shall and see. In the following lines, he moves from a generalist image of all trees to one specific type or kind. The tree has in mind has its hungry mouth pressed to the earth. It is taking in the nutrition provided by the soil and becoming sweater of the earth. Poet J.S. Gilmer इस पोएम में बता रहे हैं कि भगवान की बनाई हुई हर चीज़ सुंदर है। वो चाहे नेचर हो, चाहे वो पृथ्वी हो, चाहे वो पेड़ हो, ट्रीज हो, हर चीज़ इतनी सुंदर है और कोई भी आर्ट, कोई भी पोएम या कोई भी चीज़ भगवान की बनी हुई इस नेचर से ज़्यादा सुंदर नहीं हो सकती है। There is a clear use of personification in this line. The technique the poet continues throughout the poem entirely. It is used in effort to make something inanimate feel more real. A reader is better able to empathize with a subject if it is human. The human connection is quite important, not just that the tree is personified and therefore made more relatable, but in order to connect humankind to nature, it is often elevate itself over. Now in fifth line, a tree that look at God all days and lift her leafy arm to pray. A tree that may in summer weigh a nest of robin in her hair. In the third couplet, the speaker developed the character of this kind of trees further due to its position on the planet and its generally unchanging structure. It is always facing God. In fifth line, पोएट यहाँ बता रहे हैं कि ट्री का स्ट्रक्चर ही इस तरह से बना हुआ है कि वो हमेशा लगता है कि गॉड की तरफ ही देख रहा है। अनचेंजिंग स्ट्रक्चर मीन्स उसका स्ट्रक्चर कभी चेंज नहीं होता है। इट लुक्स एट गॉड ऑल डेज। दिस फैक्ट इट इज़ द ट्रीज बेनिफिट इट्स रिलीजियस मेक इट्स वंस मोर एंड लेस ह्यूमन। The trees find a connection with a god as much of humanity does, but it more devoted than any could hope to be. In the next line, the speaker refers to the plant as her. This is the direct connection to the larger symbol of Mother Earth, a prestigious female presence on the planet, or more clearly, the planet itself, that is responsible for the growth of cultivation of life, that spent all day looking to God and lift her arms to pray. तो हर दिन पेड़ क्या करती है कि भगवान के तरफ देखती है और वो अपने हाथों को, अपने आर्म को उठाती है, जो कि लीफली आर्म है, पत्तों से भरा हुआ आर्म जो है उसे उठाती है प्रे के लिए, प्रार्थना करने के लिए। The next two lines of bring the trees back to earth. While she may be devoted, she also remain part of the earth. In the summer there will be a nest of robins in her hair. This quickly line is meant to endorse the tree of the reader. The physical mandate's world is still at work around the trees. Next line, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lived with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. In the second and last couplets, the speaker continues to describe how the impact of the season of the earth. The trees have become quite specific at this point. It has moved from a generalized all-encompassing symbol to a specific plant the speaker can recall in detail. When winter comes, there will be snow on bosom of the tree. It will rest there gently, doing no harm to her branches. The speaker concludes this description with the reference to the rain. Just like the sun and the snow, these elements does not do anything to act against or injure the tree. She lives intimately with rain just as she does with everything else. और जे.एस. किल्मर इस लाइन में बता रहे हैं कि किस तरह सीजन चेंज होने से क्या प्रभाव पड़ता है प्लांट में, और जिस तरह विंटर आती है उसमें स्नो गिरती है प्लांट के ऊपर, लेकिन प्लांट है कि वो जैस का तस रहता है, वो बिल्कुल भी चेंज नहीं होता है। इंजर्ड कुछ भी चीज़, मौसम चाहे जितनी भी बदल जाए, लेकिन प्लांट को इंजर्ड नहीं कर पाता है। In the final two lines, the speaker returned to the overall theme of the piece, that art cannot match nature. This, he explained, is due to humanity's own way of being. No man, woman can undo one God's creation. इन लास्ट लाइन में पोएट बता रहे हैं कि भगवान की बनी हुई किसी भी चीज़ में, किसी भी क्रिएशन को कोई भी मैच नहीं कर सकता। किसकी भी आर्ट कितनी भी सुंदर हो, लेकिन वो भगवान की बनी हुई इस क्रिएचर के सामने सब फीका पड़ जाता। भगवान की क्रिएशन इतनी ग्रेट है। दिस पोएम हैज़ बिकम वेल लव्ड ड्यू टू इट्स accessible simplicity and has been frequently included in popular anthologies of modern poetry. In more recent years, it has set to music and performed by several different musicians. I hope you all understand this poem. Thank you.